After many long years, the student council has overturned a cursed ban plaguing the school for many generations. Our main character, the student council president Hajime, has overturned the ban on romance, unlocking the students' freedom to love. Treated as a hero, he's respected by all, beloved by all the girls, and admired by the guys. One small miscalculation. Not long after the ban has been lifted, his love life turns on its head with his newly acquired harem chasing him from all directions. We are going to take a look at an anime romance visual novel that goes full force, unleashing the fiery passion of the harem our main character would have never expected. Today, we are going to take a look at IxShe Tell. IxShe Tell comes straight out of the gate, all heroines with 100% max affection, dropping confessions. This leads to some great romantic harem hijinks as the cast constantly bounces off of each other, trying to outflirt each other. All of them with their own unique charms, like Yoshino's constant flustering, Kasumi's straightforward advances, to Shiori's slightly yandere tendencies. Just slightly. I had a lot of fun in the common route, and that's thanks to the harem hijinks the girls stir up when trying to compete for Hajime's attention. What's important to know is that IxShe Tell completely skips the phase where the heroines gradually begin to love the main character. This can be either a negative or a positive depending on the reader. On one hand, the development of the relationship is usually a large highlight of these type of stories. But on the other hand, this speeds up the pacing and greatly focuses on the intimacy between the couple. But before all that, we are subjected to the plentiful, wacky ways the heroines try to flirt with Hajime, as it's war on this love battlefield.
はじめ、正当防衛って証明してくれる？
While the girls are rivals trying to outlove each other, they still have a great friendship with each other. All of their efforts, no matter how out of the box, big brain it is, it's all in playful, competitive fun, and we are all subject to watch. And it's not just us. Practically everyone is invested into the relationship affairs of Hajime. Even the nameless NPCs are doing the same. These faceless girls don't have a sliver of a chance with Hajime, but they're willing to support their favorite girl in the shipping race. And that's including the guys. Most of them, anyway.
ちくしょう俺も女子に取り合いされて
Speaking of minor characters, the supporting characters are just as entertaining. Out of the little sisters, because apparently little sister routes are just too good for this visual novel, I would be willing to take Mocha as a little sister. She's just that adorable and such a good, caring sister. Meanwhile, I would drop off Alba at the grocery store and never go back. I'm kidding, of course. I can't pick on her then. Alba is an absolute meme of a character, so loud and brash that it's super entertaining when everyone shits on her. Though, while she is a gremlin, there are some good parts to her.
これは私から友人へのささやかな応援さ。やっべ、決まった。今の私超かっこいい。
At least when she isn't stuffing her face with food most of the time, either willingly or forcefully.
あー、おば？うんこうんこ言ってるその花火、青葉のお尻に突っ込んじゃうよ。
I would also like to give a special shout out to the boys for their valiant effort in their pursuit of love, as they constantly fail in their attempts. Their suffering makes for some pretty great entertainment. Essentially, most of the minor characters are great. They're dynamic, amusing, and interesting. Now, let's talk about IxShe Tell's romance mechanics. There are 3 mechanics in IxShe Tell that can affect your relationship with each of the heroines. But ultimately, in the end, these mechanics don't mean much. The most significant system is the heart points. Every day, you can allot heart points to a heroine depending on which one scored higher in your book for the day. Depending on how many heart points you give to a heroine will affect the decisions at the end of the common route. At the end of the day, you can choose to go on a date with a heroine, and within those dates, there are quick time events that can affect the dialogue. However, these mechanics are added fluff to learn more about the girls. At the end of the common route, if you have enough points for a heroine, Hajime will be the one to confess. If the points are split, or if you choose a different heroine, that heroine you chose will give a second confession, to which then Hajime can accept or deny. Basically, no matter how many hard points you give to a heroine, you can always choose the heroine you want in the end, which kinda defeats the purpose of the hard points, but it gives a reward for going all in on a heroine. Let's talk about the production for a bit. The visuals look absolutely gorgeous, especially when you consider that Nekonyan obtained the 1440 resolution version of IxShe Tell. The background artwork is stunningly beautiful with its vibrant colors and elaborate details. Even the H scenes look high quality, having almost no off-model character designs. But the best part are the facial expressions. The character designs are very distinct with top-tier reaction faces, and these expressions greatly sold the jokes that accompanied them. If I had to nitpick a criticism, I don't like the UI for the text box and the font. Even when you turn the opacity of the text box all the way up, the font is still hard to read. Luckily, Nekonyan put out a patch that allows you to change the font color, which is nice of them to add. The soundtrack is standard for most romantic comedy visual novels, upbeat and joyful for the slice of life moments, and softer melodic piano pieces for the more romantic, dramatic moments. The most standout track though is the track Tamashi. The song begins blazing with a fanfare of trumpets before jazzing out with a solo saxophone igniting the scene to life. Out of all of the tracks in IxShe Tell, this song is the most memorable with that unique jazzy vibe. And now, what you've all been waiting for, time to introduce our beloved heroines. Yoshino is the straight-laced vice president. She's strict, serious, and a big stickler for the rules. She opposed Hajime for lifting the romance ban, but she constantly wears her heart on her face. The joy of her route and her moments in the common route is seeing her get teased. A lot.
もうバカ
Yoshino is if you took the tsundere character trait and went super hard dere on her personality. Her route is focused on her progression of emotions, going from aggressively adamant in morals to a complete wreck of emotions to being more relaxed and open. Yoshino's route is entertaining comedic wise, and it's a phased, consistent approach to her development despite how widely erratic she is. Yui is our younger but mature, sophisticated kohai. She's the student council president from the sister school, displaying her composed, ideal role model persona. Yui is definitely the most refined and calmer one, despite being the youngest out of the group. Unfortunately, I can't really say much about her route. It does go deeper into her family background, but there's nothing particularly special to note here. Sure, there's cute romance moments, but I'm desperately trying to think of points to highlight about her route that isn't just memes about Alba.
あ、胸は私1センチ刈ってる。
Our next heroine is an individual so beautiful and perfect that she absolutely deserves it as my favorite girl.
で、私はパーフェクトに可愛い結城彩香だから。
Ayaka is a refreshing take on the bombastic, prideful school idol. She may sound arrogant and full of herself, but she carries herself in high regard to get admiration and affection from others. Her Gap Moe is super top tier, extremely teasing and confident, but also extremely bashful and innocent. She's aggressive on the offensive, but weak on the defensive. Wonderfully said here, she's a hybrid carnivore. She loves to hunt, but sometimes she likes to be the prey in more ways than one.
覚えんでいい。
Ayaka and Hajime exchange banter like it's the most natural thing in the world, and I absolutely love it. It feels organic and balanced as the two constantly keep up with each other's wit. I actually like teasing Ayaka more than I do Yoshino, and for those of you who've read the routes, that's saying a lot. Kasumi is the new transfer student, and she's one of the main girls stirring stuff up on the battlefield. Not in a mean or cruel way, but there's something to be said about her mischievous, flirtatious charms and her gigantic, massive honkers.
ボンってボンってボンだって余計なこと言わなくていい。
Jokes aside, her route is cute and fluffy. The interactions between Hajime and our lovely cinnamon roll are very adorable as the two engage in playful behavior. However, her route takes an entirely different direction that I honestly did not expect it to go. Kasumi's route introduces a plot element that takes everything in her out and gives it a whole new context. It's that much of a twist. For a mostly lighthearted visual novel, having that revelation might turn some people off, but I'm totally fine with this. Everything leading up to the conclusion was the visual novel injecting drama straight into my veins, as it turns the route from a lukewarm one to an emotional one. As I'm left thinking at the end, shit, why am I crying now? Our last, but certainly not least, is our heroine Shiori, a childhood friend and madly in love through the many years spent with Hajime. She's very forward in her actions towards Hajime, but has social anxiety when talking to people. And let's not forget her slightly yandere tendencies, marked with a big sign in red bold letters saying, "Very dangerous," as she could actually kill someone for love. And that's kinda hot. Wait a minute. Despite her killer personality shown in the common route, she's a lot more reserved within her route. Out of all of the girls, I found her behaviors to be the most natural and modest considering her archetype. Going from childhood friends to lovers, a lot of their interactions are small nuances of them crossing that gap. The both of them know each other's quirks already, and they both really care about each other to begin with, so their relationship becomes more of a reaffirmation of their feelings. Shiori's route is not as bombastic or comedic or even drama heavy, but it's a pleasant, relaxing route with all the small elements of a childhood friend route, including all of the playful biting and big wife energy. IxShe Tell is a solid entry in the moe romance visual novel library with lots of love to give. Blazing out of the gates with the confessions is a risky move, but it allowed for an exciting and comedic common route before finally settling down on a heroine. And to be honest, I had a rough time trying to pick out what route to choose first because all of them are captivating with their fun and entertaining personalities. Combined with a gorgeous production, IxShe Tell is a high-quality, modern moe title that, like its heroines, will treat you well. I give IxShe Tell a 4 out of 5. Subscribe if you liked the video and want to see more. Check back every week for new content.